Oh, you got it.
All right, Khan. Shalom. We are the real Hebrew Israelites. This is the camp from GMS Denver. Before we start off, we want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah, Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us the truth. Also, I want to acknowledge all the Akim who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, so today's lesson, we're going to go in on the main topic will be, do we have free will or not? All right, because you have a lot of these Christians who they, in their arrogance, their pride, and their lack of understanding the scriptures, they're always saying that we have free will, and they think that they truly believe that they have free will, not understanding the scriptures. If a brother wants to grab me Isaiah 46:10 to start off,
I got you.
The truth of the matter is, there's nobody on this planet Earth that has free will. Everything is of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, so go ahead and start that off. If somebody could grab Jonah, first chapter.
I'm starting at verse 8.
Can't start at 8. That's fine.
This is Isaiah 46:8. It says, "Remember this and show yourselves men. Bring it again to mind, O you transgressors. Remember the former things of old, for I am the Most High, and there is none else. I am the Most High, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, My counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure."
So right there, like really, that's a mic dropper when it comes to free will. If you can't understand by what the brother just read, then we don't have no free will, because like Yahweh said in that verse he said, my counsel shall stand and do all his pleasure. So, there's no such thing as, I'm going to choose to follow the Lord, or I'm going to choose to start a nuclear war, anything. There's no the only thing that we do is because the Lord puts a spirit on us to do whatever it is that we're doing. You got the prophets who are prophesying. Our righteousness is not of him. All right, our righteousness. I'm sorry, it was a slip of the tongue. I was Satan. Our righteousness is not of ourselves, but it is of him. You see, you brothers got anything?
Grab this real quick.
No.
This is Proverbs 20:24. Man's goings are of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. How can a man then understand his own way?
Con. So that's one of the another mic dropper. Man's goings are of Yahweh, meaning the way we move, everything that we do is of Yahweh. We can't choose to do any of this stuff that we do. Like I was saying earlier, the prophets, the Lord has put His Spirit on 144,000 men of Israel who are up prophesying, and the understanding starts out with His prophets. You see, and it's even to the point where if you don't want to do the work, and the Lord calls you, that's not your will. The Lord's going to put a spirit, whether you want to do his work or not. If you're one of the elect, if you're one of the prophets, he's going to have that spirit on you where you're going to be, you're going to be doing the work and prophesying, as his prophets are commanded to do. All right. If you guys don't have anything, somebody can start reading that Jonah chapter 1.
All right, what verse?
You can start at 1, Ak.
Let me grab this real quick. Let me grab a few more before we start that. This is Psalm 37:23. The steps of a good man are ordered by Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and he delighteth in his way.
Khan, what did you just bring out, Ak? Which verse?
Psalms 37:23.
Oh, Khan. Can you read it again, Ak?
The steps of Psalms 37:23. The steps of a good man are ordered by Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and he delighteth in his way.
Khan, and that good man, it's really referring to the Lord's prophets, to the elect. All right, but again, the steps are directed by Yahweh. All right, as we're about to see in this story, Jonah, Go ahead, and we'll let the scriptures. We'll let the scriptures talk.
Come on.
Ready? All the brother got?
You got one? Go ahead, Ak. Let him grab what he got, and then you can
All right.
start.
This
Verse
is
1.
Job chapter 33 and verse 14. For the Most High speaketh once, yet twice, yet man perceiveth it not. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumberings upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men, and sealeth their instruction, that he may withdraw man from his purpose, and hide pride from man.
Khan, so even while we're asleep, the Lord is sealing our instruction. He's he's directing our steps. He's planning, our goings, but the Christians, like we say all the time, they don't have they don't have they don't have understanding with this scripture. So you got all these knucklehead Christians running around thinking that they got free will and thinking that everything is, oh, I chose the Lord, I chose Jesus, I chose this, man, you didn't choose nothing according to the scriptures. See? Go ahead, Ak.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it.
Y'all brothers holding anything else?
Hey, if nobody brought out Proverbs 20:24, I got that in the NIV. If I bring it out in the NIV, it says Proverbs 20:24. A person's steps are directed by the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai. How then can anyone understand their own way?
Khan. So he's the brother bringing it out from another version, but it's saying basically the same thing, It's the steps are directed by Yahweh. There's nothing that we do that we planned and said, and you can plan something, but it doesn't mean it's going to come to pass, Only if it's the Lord's will it come to pass, right? Like he said earlier, only his counsel, only his pleasure is going to come to pass. All right? Go ahead, Ak.
Let me grab one more. This is Jeremiah 10:23. Oh Yahweh, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps.
Khan. So all we're doing is hammering the same point over and over again, proving these knucklehead Christians wrong, right? Because to this day, you got all these people in the Christian pagan church. They literally believe that there's free will involved. When brothers said we just barely started, brothers already, we haven't even started on Jonah yet, and brothers already bringing verses out proving that there's no. Go ahead, Ak.
Let me get that same verse in the NLT and in the NIV. Is Jeremiah 10:23 in the NLT. It says, I know Yahweh that our lives are not our own. We are not able to plan our own course. Whew. And this is the NIV version.
Sometimes them NLT and NIV's verses, they're more direct to the point. They hit even harder, and they're easy for these, for these people to understand because of the way they're written. Go ahead, Ak.
It's Jeremiah 10:23 in the NIV. Yahweh, I know that people's lives are not their own. It is not for them to direct their own steps. Whew. That's a complete cut. So I can do whatever I want to do. You're not doing nothing but what the Most High wants you to do. You see that? The Most High is giving you he's giving you the illusion of free will, but all he's done, he set your course from the beginning and let you walk the path that he's already laid out for you before you were even conceived in your mother's womb, man. Even like he told Jeremiah, even before thou was conceived in thy mother's womb, I knew thee and ordained thee a prophet unto the nations, man. You see? Because what? Every single spirit is down here doing exactly what Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has laid out for them to do. You thought you made that choice, but the choice is already made for you. You see? From your favorite food, from the car you drive, where you live, so forth and so on, the woman that you with or the man that you with, the children that you had, all that was already planned. All that was already planned to come to pass for you from the beginning. You see?
The spirits that we cross, the people we deal with,
everything.
The prophecies, I mean, when I was meditating on this, and you got to think, if we had free will, then wouldn't man be able to alter the prophecies?
Yep.
And the answer is no. We don't have free will. Could that? So this is why Yahweh's counsel is always going to stand, because no matter what you do, no matter what you try and say, these scriptures are going to come to pass the way the Lord intended them. See?
The entire course of human history has already been predetermined to be what the Most High wants it to be from the beginning. Every single war, every empire that came into power, every empire that fell. You see, every assassination, every so forth and so on was already ordained to be according to the Most High's will, man. And nobody had any say so in the matter.
Khan. What's that? What was that one about the bird falling from the sky? Unless it won't fall unless the Most High ordains it.
Khan.
You know, that comes to mind in Matthew. But you guys don't have it. Okay, Khan.
James
Khan.
chapter 13.
Go ahead.
Look here, you who say today or tomorrow we are going to a certain town and will stay there a year, we will do business in there and make a profit. How do you know what your life will be like tomorrow? Your life is like the morning fog. It's here a little while, then it's gone. 15 is the last one. What you ought to say is, if the Lord power wants us to, we will live and do this or that.
Khan, and that's exactly what it is. Like, you know, we can plan it like Outcast in that song. They say you can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. You know, if you plan a picnic and Yahweh brings a stormy tempest weather, you know, you ain't gonna be having that picnic. You know, that's why. And what the brother just read in James, hey, that's why when the brothers see each other, when we're amongst each other, we're talking. What are we constantly saying? Well, I'll see you at will, Lord willing. I'll see. I'll see you on the Tuesday call, Lord willing. You know, because why? We understand the Lord's ways. We understand His judgments, His ways, and we understand that it ain't of us. It's all about Him. You see.
So I got you with that sparrow verse. This is Matthew 10:29. It says, "And are not two sparrows sold for a farthing? And one of them shall not fall upon the ground without your Father."
God, which is that the sparrow is an insignificant thing. It's just a small bird, you know. But guess what? That little insignificant thing of that bird dying, it's not going to happen unless the Lord ordains it to happen. You see. So just like with the prophets, just like with the wicked, just like with the heathen, just like with the 2/3, everything is predetermined by Yahweh. All right. There's no way around it when you read these scriptures. All right. Go ahead.
I got one. It's Hebrews 12:9. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh, which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live?
Khan, go ahead and break it down.
Just, showing that He controls the spirit. So there is no free will. So it's better just to, I was just going to say, it's better to be in subjection than to be His enemy,
Khan.
I got Jonah, I'm sorry. Jonah chapter, you want me to start at verse 1?
Let's see. Yeah, I think when I was reading it today, I said, go ahead and start at verse 1.
It says in Jonah 1:1, now the word of Yahweh came unto Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry against it, for their wickedness has come up before me. But Jonah wrote.
This is the Lord's will, is for Jonah to prophesy against Nineveh, right? Just like it's His will for us here in Babylon, America, it's His will to have the Spirit on us to prophesy in Babylon here against Babylon, right? Go ahead, Ak.
It says in verse 3, but Jonah rose up
to flee unto Tarshish from the presence of the Lord Yahweh, and went down to Joppa, and he found a ship going to Tarshish. So he paid the fare thereof, and went down into it to go with them unto Tarshish from the presence of Yahweh. But Yahweh
so
sent.
hold on. This brother Jonah, he was to the point where he was trying to avoid the work so much that he literally bought a ticket to get out of Dodge. You see, and Tarshish, by the way, is actually Spain, modern Spain. So, but Jonah, he was trying to go get. He thought he could go do his will, right? He to the point where he literally bought a ticket to leave town, and it says to leave from the presence of Yahweh, right? And if somebody real quick could grab Psalm 51:11, because it shows you that initially Jonah was in the wrong mindset. If somebody could grab that Psalm 51:11.
Psalm 51:11. Cast me not away from thy presence, and take not thy Holy Spirit from me.
So Jonah was in the wrong spirit, because King David knew. He was saying, hey, don't ever take, he was praying to Yahweh, don't ever take your presence from me. Don't take the spirit off me. But this right here, you got Jonah. It said on that last line of that verse, it said he was trying to go from the presence of Yahweh. So you're in the wrong mindset, when you're trying to go away from the presence of the Lord. You as a man of Yahweh, as part of the hopeful elect, we should always, like we mentioned in camp the other day, we should always, if you remember to say that Psalm 51:11, to keep that spirit on you. That's the spirit we need to be in. All right, and go ahead.
All right, Jonah 1, chapter 1, verse 4. But Yahweh sent out a great wind into the sea, and there was a mighty tempest in the sea, so that the ship was like to be broken.
Mm-hmm.
Then the mariners were afraid, and cried every one unto his power, or unto their God, and cast forth the wares that were in the ship into the sea to lighten it of them. But Jonah was gone down into the sides of the ship, and he lay and was fast asleep.
Right. So Jonah, he thinks he's getting to escape the will of Yahweh, right? He's like, I'm just gonna go take a nap. He's with these they were out there to make money, right? And these mariners, all freaking out because the weather starts picking up and they're in this boat, right? Go ahead, Ak.
So the shipmaster came to him and said unto him, What meanest thou, O sleeper? Arise, call upon thy power, if so be that power will think upon us that we perish not.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 7, and they said every one to his fellow, Come and let us cast lots, that we may know for whose cause this evil is upon us. So they cast lots, and the lot fell upon Jonah.
Because they were all wondering why are we doomed to die? They thought they was going to die on that ship, right? And here's Jonah trying to escape the will of Yahweh and just putting off the work. And he was on that ship with those dudes to the point where, hey, they thought they were going to lose their lives, right? Go ahead, Ak.
Then said they unto him, Tell us, we pray thee, for whose cause this evil is upon us. What is thine occupation, and whence comest thou? What is thy country, and of what people art thou?
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto them, I am an Hebrew, and I fear Yahweh, the power of heaven, which hath made the sea and the dry land. Then were the men exceedingly afraid, and said unto him, Why hast thou done this? For the men knew that he fled from the presence of Yahweh, because he had told them.
So they got even more scared because they knew what the cause was. They knew they were in Yahweh's hands at that point, ready to, Yahweh could have put them to death, and it would have been all because of on behalf of Jonah, Because, like I said, he was trying to resist the will of Yahweh, which no matter as we read, you'll see that Yahweh's will is going to always stand. See? Go ahead, Ak. Unless you
The
brothers
last,
got precept. Anybody? Go
I
ahead.
the
got
last,
one.
Go ahead, Ak.
All right, this is John chapter 15 and verse 16. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that ye should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever ye ask of the Father in my name, he may give it you. And that's Yahweh Shai.
Yeah, so
You
we
know,
don't choose thing. Go ahead, Ak. You go ahead and break that down.
so yeah, the Lord, he chose the prophets from the beginning. All right. 144,000 and the elect, those were chosen for salvation from the beginning to inherit the kingdom. It's nothing that we did or anything that we can do. It's just the Lord's mercy, his will. And you jump down to we see Salakia, verse 19. It says, if you were of the world will love his own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hated you. You see?
Sanctified from the beginning, man. Set apart to do a special job on this earth, and that's why we're hated. It's you know why? It's all the Most High's will. We didn't choose to do this. We didn't ask for
Con,
this. We didn't even think that we would ever be doing this. You see?
con,
So that's how you know it's all of the Lord, man. We had no say so in the matter. Preordained, meaning what? From a you was already ordained to do this from the beginning, set apart, man. Foreknew,
con,
preordained. It's all what? According to the Most High's election. According to what the Most High chose to do.
And that's
So
why he's the
con.
most high. Ain't nobody going outside of his will. He's the most high.
niggas really out here thinking they operating, but just like the brothers at camp in Dallas, come on, man, what the Most High know everything. He know I'm about to do this. He
Oh
know
my
about like,
God,
bro,
man.
like the other Ariella said, man, that's low level as fuck. He know I'm about to go right with. He thought I was gonna go left, but I'm gonna go right. No, he gave you that illusion that you thought you was fooling him.
He made him say that stupid shit.
Exactly, bro. That's why, like because people are down here on the earth just doing whatever they want to do, thinking that they're getting away with something. Nah, the Most High programmed you to do that. So when it's time for judgment to come, he can get your ass. Because you was preordained to receive a harsh judgment for your behavior that the Most High put in your story for you to do. Ain't
Mm-hmm.
nobody getting away. Ain't nobody escaping. Everyone is subject to the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, man. You see?
Let me grab this precept real quick.
Okay.
Jeremiah 1 and 5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. All right. So, like what we're reading right now about Jonah, like, hey, when the Lord, if he ordains a man a prophet, there's nothing you can do. You can't avoid doing the work. Matter of fact, who was it that said he could? It was like a fire, and I think it was Paul. Was it Paul that said it was like a fire in him? He
Jeremiah.
couldn't.
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah. Okay. I so whenever the spirit of the Lord is on his men, his servants, the prophets, there's nothing you can do to avoid this. Like he told Jeremiah, I ordained you a prophet from the womb. You know, does that mean that Jeremiah, once he's born, he's going to be able to go on his own will and say, you know what? I know I was ordained by Yahweh as a prophet, but I think I'm going to do my own thing. I'm gonna choose to do something else. No, just like the brother said, not even us. We didn't choose to be who we are. It's Yahweh that put the spirit on us. It's Yahweh that ordained us. Lord's will, we are those men who are out here prophesying,
Mm-hmm. Let me
Um,
grab
I
a
got a
go
let
ahead.
me
Precepts, go ahead.
Proverbs 21 and 2. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord Yahweh pondereth the heart.
Khan. So you might think you know what it is, but hey, it's the Lord who's really dictating your thoughts, your mind, everything, right? Hey, Ox, since you're right there in Proverbs, will you grab real quick Proverbs 16 and 9?
I was just holding that. That's a spirit.
Oh, Khan, bring it out, Ox, if you got it.
This is Proverbs 16 and 9. A man's heart deviseth his way, but Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, directive, his steps.
Con. And it's almost like every single verse we come out with is just a hammering this point home because it's super direct. Do you want to bring that same verse out in NLT just to see what it says?
All right, one moment. This is Proverbs 16:9 in the NLT. It says, we can make our plans, but Yahweh determines our steps. So you can make all the
See?
plans you want to make. If it ain't in the Most High's will, like we just said earlier, like we read earlier, we should say what? If it be the Lord's will, then we will do something. If the Lord allows, because everything we do is what He allows us to do, not something we chose to do. You know what I'm saying?
It's like you we're on the point, so it's like, what is Esau? Is it his will to be the evil? Is it is you know what I'm saying? Is it his will to be that serpent in the scriptures?
Let me
You
get that
know,
real quick. This is
Con.
Romans 9.
Start at 11 and go ahead and read through 16, please, Baba Kasha.
It's Romans 9:11. It says, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth.
Con. So before those two babies, Jacob and Esau, when they're in the womb, before they did any good or evil, you know, in the womb, the Most High had already ordained who He had chosen. He
Hey,
already ordained who was going to be the wicked and who was going to be the His chosen people. Go ahead.
hey, the NLT says, but before they were born, before they had done anything good or bad, she received a message from the Most High. This message shows that the Most High chooses people according to His own purposes.
Gosh. And them Christians, they be reading that version and still don't understand it.
Still
And
don't get it.
that's like, you know what I'm saying? Like that, the way he just read, it's even in more plain English for you people to understand and hear. But yet, how many Christians are walking around saying that there's no free will? You know?
All right.
So even no matter what scripture, what version these pagan Christians read, man, they don't know jack shit. You know, the spirit's not dealing with them.
So back in Romans 9:12, it says, it was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High? Most High forbid. For he said unto Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of the Most High that showeth mercy.
Colin. So again, it's all about the Most High Yahweh, all about what He chooses, even the mercy. You know, who He's gonna have mercy on. It's all the Yahweh's decision. It ain't for Esau or the heathen or the 2/3 to decide. You know, or even us. Everything is moved according to these prophecies. Everything moves according to the way Yahweh has set it out. You know, we're in His movie. You see. You know, He's the director of the movie. Even in a movie, when they make movies, right? They got the director, like Quentin Tarantino. You can't go up to Tarantino and say, hey, man, I want this scene to be this way, or I'm going to be, I want this music playing on this scene. If that's not what he likes, then that music ain't going to be playing on that scene. And that's the same thing with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You know?
Yeah, even Yahushai. He don't choose what day He comes back. He has to wait for the will of power to be fulfilled. And I got to just to back that up. John 17, verse 4. It's red letter, Yahushua speaking. I have glorified thee on the earth. I have finished the work which thou gavest me to do, which he's praying to the Father,
Even Yahushai's life, like the brother said, everything that had to fulfill in prophecy with Yahushai, guess what? Whose will was that? That was Yahweh's will. It wasn't Yahushai couldn't say, oh no, I'm not going to get up on that cross. He even called I think it was Peter. He called Peter Satan. He rebuked Satan or rebuked Peter when Peter tried to tell him that that wasn't going to happen. You know, because why? Because Yahweh Shai was one in the spirit. He knew the prophecy. He knew the will of Yahweh, and that's what he told me to get thee behind me, Satan. You know, you're speaking like a wicked one when you're talking against. That'd be like us changing up these prophecies, changing, you know, telling you things ain't going to come to pass, which is written that's supposed to come to pass. Like these other Hebrew Israelite camps, they'd be doing that shit. You know,
Like MOTB.
exactly.
You know? Saying it's not going to come to pass, but it's going to come. That's why we call him the devil, you know, call him Satan. These other camps, you know, because they're deceiving Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
I got one real quick. Oh,
Go ahead, Ak.
all right, just to back up. This is Ezekiel chapter 14 and verse 9. And if the prophet be deceived when he has spoken a thing, I, the Lord Yahweh, Bashmi Awashai, have deceived that prophet, and I will stretch out my hand upon him and will destroy him from the midst of my people Israel.
So whether you're out here prophesying in truth, as it is written, or whether you're prophesying deceiving the people, speaking words that are not written, even that is dictated by Yahweh. You know, Isaiah. Somebody could grab Isaiah 45 and 7. You know, no matter what's going on, no matter what's happening, it's all ordained by the Most High. If it's happening, guess what? You can bet the whole farm that Yahweh is the one who ordained it. All right. Even the Oppenheimer, the atomic bomb. Who gave him that knowledge? Who gave him that power to create that waster? It was in Yahweh. It tells you that in Isaiah 54. It tells him he's created the waster. He's allowed this smith, this scientist, this madman, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, to create these nuclear missiles that are going to waste away Babylon, America. See, it's not the will of Esau. It's not the will of the so-called white man that that he created those missiles and even taking a step further, it ain't going to be his will to when he starts to shoot them, to the ends of the world. See?
Hey, Esau don't even want to be Esau. He wants to be Israel. You know, so he didn't get to choose that either.
And that's Yahweh putting that spirit on him, like to lie about that, and he will never take ownership. He'll, like we've talked about before, the so-called white man, he'll claim any single nation, heritage, race in the planet, on the face of the earth, before he admits that he's Esau, the so-called, what Yahweh actually calls it.
Look at Isaiah 45.
Khan, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
You want me to start at 6?
Yeah, go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 45, verse 6, that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none beside me. I am the Lord power, and there is none else. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord power, do all these things.
Khan, again, it's Yahweh that controls the left-hand side. He controls the right-hand side. He controls all the spirits. Everything that everybody does, they're being moved by Yahweh. All right, it's there's no free will, man. I was inspired to do this lesson because I just constantly lately I've been hearing that these Christians saying, oh, they act like they got this strong argument. They want to argue, oh, we got free will, man. What do you mean? We have free will. Like that, they they don't understand these scriptures. Hey, can you go back to that Jonah?
Yeah.
And then if other brothers got precepts, go ahead and bring them out.
I got one.
Go ahead,
Amos chapter 3, verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord hath not done it?
Khan. And the answer is, hey, the trumpet, when that final trumpet does get blown, guess what? It's going to be the spirit of Yahweh that comes on these people, where that war pops off. It's not going to be the will the so-called white man, he's going to put the spirit on those nations to war with Babylon, the great whore, right, and make her desolate. See, this ain't going to be something of a choice that the white man makes. The so-called white man. If you brothers don't got anything, you can go back to that Jonah.
I got one more.
Go ahead, Anna, you got one?
Come on, let me get this one right away. I know the brother brought out verse 16, but let me get John. I'm gonna get John chapter 15 in the Good News translation, verse 15. It says, "I do not call you servants any longer, because servants do not know what their master is doing. Instead, I'll call you friends, because I have told you everything I heard from my Father." So just going into what you're saying, brother, like the only reason we're able to bring out a lesson like this is because we understand the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. He has given us the understanding to know what to do in these end times, what to teach, what not to teach, what to say, what not to say. We're not directed by our own fleshly thoughts. We're directed by the Spirit, the Rakak Kodash of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. If we are part of the elect, 2/3, guess what? They're directed by what? Satan, the deceiver. They're directed by demons, also being by the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, which, as you said, Christians don't understand it. The people in the world don't understand it. But the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, that we have been given this knowledge, this understanding to understand and to be able to teach.
Khan, and just to make that point, what you said, yeah, the 2/3 they follow Satan, but it's Yahweh that's giving them up to Satan. He's the one who allows them to be deceived. All right. So the elect, as we know in Matthew 24, they cannot be deceived. Right. Only those 2/3 can be deceived, and they follow the heathen ways. That's why they gotta be destroyed. Before the kingdom. But they'll be back in the kingdom just fine. But go ahead, Ak.
I got Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh as the rivers of waters. He turneth it whithersoever he will.
Yeah. Even the king, even Joe Biden, even the modern day king of Babylon right now, right, for the time being, we don't know who it's going to be in November. Could be, what's his name, Trump. But no matter which king you're talking about, his mind is controlled by the Most High Yahweh. All right. Just to go in a little bit on that point, can somebody grab Revelations 16 and read Revelation 17 and read verse 16 and 17?
Your call's grabbing me.
Revelation 17, verse 16.
Khan.
Okay. In Revelation chapter 17, verse 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For power hath put in the hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of power shall be fulfilled.
Khan, and that was 17 also, right, Ak? Yeah, so there it is. Who's going to put that spirit on those the NATO and the EU to start making this whore desolate? It's not going to be the will of their kings. We already read that the king's mind is in the power of Yahweh, and he control it wherever it go. That's why you need to fear. That's why people need to get into the mindset of fearing Yahweh, not forget about this white devil, because it's going to, if you fear World War III, if you fear a nuclear war, then you better start fearing Yahweh if you're an Israelite. To hell with the fearing the so-called white man. To hell with the fearing these other nations who are going to be shooting missiles at each other. The protection and the hedge is in the fear of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, if you're an Israelite. See,
You can only do
Um,
that. Lord allows it.
that too. See, and it's all preordained. So really, everyone's gonna do just the way what they're like what's his name? You guys, the UFC. There was a Conor McGregor and the guy Michael Chandler. They were gonna fight, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this." And then Conor McGregor tells him, "You'll do what you're told, Michael." And that's the same thing with Yahweh. You ain't gonna do nothing unless Yahweh ordains it, man.
This
So,
is Jonah 1:7. Then said they unto him, what shall we do unto thee that the sea may be calm unto us? For the sea wroth and was tempestuous. And he said unto them, take me up and cast me forth into the sea. So shall the sea be calm unto you, for I know that for my sake this great tempest is upon you.
Con. So that's we're back in that story of Jonah with the boat and these men fearing for their lives because they knew and they realized that Jonah was avoiding the Lord's work because he told them what happened. He basically told them he was trying to avoid doing the Lord's will. And now this shows you also the faith of Jonah because he literally was telling these dudes like, "Hey, go ahead and just throw me overboard, throw me overboard." He didn't know it was going to happen, but he basically he took it. He took accountability. He was like, "Just toss me over this boat, overboard." Go ahead, Ak.
Once again, who put those words in his mouth? It was the Lord,
Exactly.
Nevertheless, the men rowed hard to bring it to the land, but they could not, for the sea wroth and was tempestuous against them. Wherefore they cried unto Yahweh and said, we beseech thee, O Yahweh, we beseech thee, let us not perish for this man's life, and lay not upon us innocent blood. For thou, O Yahweh, hast done as it pleased thee. So they took.
So again, we read it. That's the verse we start out with. That Yahweh is going to do all His pleasure, right? So everything, man, everything that happens is because Yahweh is in control. All right.
Even
There's nothing, huh?
I was going to say, Jonah leaving from his post, that was even the Lord putting it on him so he could fulfill this part of the story. You know what I'm saying?
Con. There's no free will. Keep going.
Right. It says, that's why sometimes you got to be patient to look back to see the Lord controlling your footsteps, because sometimes when you're looking forward, it don't make sense. And that's why it says we walk by faith, not by sight. Because sometimes when we're close to these things, it don't make sense at that time. But when the Lord gets us through, then we're able to look back and say, oh, this is what the Lord was doing. Because, He gives us the evidence. It says,
yeah, that's why what John 8:32, the truth will make you free. When you understand what the brother just broke down, and hey, just to take the good with the bad, you're gonna fall, you're gonna go through hell sometimes. But at the end of the day, hey, this is part of the Lord's will. Obviously, if it's happened, it was the Lord's will for that to happen. So you can't question it. All you gotta do is deal with it like a man. See? Go ahead, on.
Verse 15. So they took up Jonah and cast him forth into the sea, and the sea ceased from her raging. Then the men feared Yahweh exceedingly, and offered a sacrifice unto Yahweh and made vows. Now Yahweh had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah, which this actually happens today. Fishermen are swallowed up even today by big fish. It says,
you're right, Ak. I actually saw an account of that on this dude. He was actually on some news channel explaining that he got swallowed by a whale, and the whale tossed him out, and he said all he remembered was like falling in the water. But like the brother said, this ain't nothing new under the sun, people will say, "Oh, this is far fetched. This ain't true." But guess what? Anything the Lord, whatever His pleasure is, it don't matter if you think it's far fetched. It's going to happen. Just like with the chariots in our salvation. It don't matter if you don't believe that there's so-called UFOs, which are angels. That it don't matter what you think. If it's the Lord's will for us to go up in those what you call UFOs, the chariots, then guess what? We're going to go up and we have the faith because we understand the scriptures that those things are going to come to pass. See? But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a quick point. Hey, the
Go
elect
ahead.
can't lose even if they wanted to, man.
Con.
Right.
The game is rigged, man.
Con.
As
Even
sure
in
as the
Esau get rigged.
Sorry, I was saying, as sure as the sun is gonna rise, bro. As sure as the sun is gonna rise.
Con.
It's verse 17. Now Yahweh had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights.
Con.
And,
So go ahead, Ak.
and
So
Jonah.
You know what? Real
said,
quick though, even the point I want to make is even like we said earlier, the animals too move according to Yahweh. Because what that brother just read, that Yahweh prepared the great fish, meaning Yahweh had ordained that great fish to be in there in that moment to swallow Jonah, right? And then what were you gonna say, Ak? Were you gonna say something?
no.
He was just
Okay.
reading, bro.
Go ahead and keep reading. We're almost done here. We'll read a little bit through 2 and then we'll start wrapping it up. We'll start bringing out closing steps.
All right, Jonah 2 and 1. Then Jonah prayed unto Yahweh his power out of the fish's belly, and said, I cried by reason of my affliction unto Yahweh, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried I, and thou heardest my voice. And for thou hadst cast me into the deep, in the midst of the seas, and the floods compassed me about. All thy billows and thy waves passed over me. Then I said, I am cast out of thy sight, yet I will look again toward thy holy temple.
Con, so now all of a sudden Jonah was starting to get in his right mindset because he had to go through that event for the Lord and it was all ordained and directed by Yahweh. So hey, now Jonah, he's like considering, like, man, if I get out this fish, shoot, I'm gonna do the Lord's work, So that's basically what's happening here. You brothers got anything you want to add or precepts?
Like he just realized there wasn't no escaping, man. No matter where he went, the Most High told his ass to go prophesy in Nineveh, and it was gonna be done. He tried to get away. You see, he went on a little journey. You know what I'm saying? Running, probably paranoid and shit. You know what I'm saying? Looking behind him, trying to see if things was gonna fall out of the sky or some, you know what I'm saying? Some crazy shit. And it all happened when he got on that boat, the storm came, and he like, bro, I can't escape. Just throw me overboard. I gotta go do it. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go. Ain't nothing I can do. And that's how it is with us, man. We gotta do this work. Everybody gotta do exactly what the Most High wants them to do, man. And there is no option.
God. Because what was he trying to do? He was trying to escape from going out and preaching and telling, Israel to repent. He wanted to see them to be destroyed. He's like, fuck it, let them get killed. And that's the same mindset we have to be in the state of knowing and understanding that we're in this time of grace where Yahweh Bashim Yahushai wants his elect to turn back unto him and to cry out unto him.
Con, so if you brothers got any other closing steps, that's pretty much it. I think
I'll grab the last 2 on chapter 2.
Okay, Con.
Verse 9. But I will sacrifice unto thee with the voice of thanksgiving. I will pay that I have vowed. Salvation is of Yahweh. And Yahweh spake unto the fish, and it vomited out Jonah upon the dry land. Showing
Con.
control.
Yeah, she controls everything. He spoke under that fish because that fish would have ate him up, you know, but it was the Lord speaking to that fish to vomit Jonah out and preserve him, you know, right? And what did he preserve him for? So that Jonah could do the work of the Lord, right? That's why did he preserve us through all the bullshit we've been through in our lives, you know? Because at the end of the day, he preserved us to do this work, man.
Did
See?
Salaka, brother, did anybody get that Ephesians 2?
Go ahead, nobody got it.
Yeah. All right, let me get Ephesians 2. I'm going to start at verse 8. It says, "For by grace are ye saved through faith, and not of yourselves. It is a gift of the most high power, not of works, lest any man shall boast. For we are his workmanship, created in Mashiach Yahushua unto good works, which the most high power hath before ordained that we should walk in them."
Con. So it is again from the way we look, from the way we act, from the way we speak, from the way we teach. Everything is the will of Yahweh. All right. And there's nothing you can do, you know, if it's the will of Yahweh, you can't escape. You can't escape his will. You can't resist his will, like he says in Romans 9, you know. So anybody got any other closing precepts?
I got one. Psalms 121:7. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul.
Con, there it is. The only reason why we're gonna have a preserved soul, the only reason why we're gonna have salvation, you know, if we're for those men, is because Yahweh has ordained it for us to be those men, and we believe through faith. And he also, you know, it's his gift that he's given in every measure. Every man has his own measure. You know, that faith is what we have. That's that ingredient that we believe is gonna you know, ultimately bring us salvation. You know.
Through Yahweh Shai.
I got one really quick. It's a kind of an account. This is Acts chapter 9.
Oh, that's the spirit. I had that holding, but we ran longer. So go ahead, Akka. I was holding that earlier.
All right, this is Acts chapter 9 and verse 3. It's talking about, you know, Saul, who became the apostle Paul. And as he journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly there shined round about him a light from heaven. And he fell to the earth and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? And that was Yahweh Shai. And he said, Who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Yahweh Shai, whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. So, yeah, man, the Lord was guiding Paul, man. He was persecuting the church. And that's why he said that. He said, it's hard for thee to kick against the pricks and try to go against my will. You end up hurting yourself.
Because at the end of the day, it's the Most High's will. Like Gamaliel said, man, if this work be of man, it will come to naught. But since it's of the Most High, there's nothing that you can do against it, man. You see? And that's what Yahweh was telling. He was telling Saul that because Saul was going through murdering brothers and sisters, bro. He was on one. Because he thought he was doing something. He thought he was doing what was right, but ultimately he was wrong. And Yahweh Shai came to correct him, knocked him off that high horse, blinded him for 3 days, and brought him back into his senses and put him on the right path, man. And guess what he started doing? The will of the Lord,
right?
And couldn't stop it. Even he couldn't stop it. Even when they told him not to go to Jerusalem because you gonna if you do, they gonna bind you. He's like, man, hey, fuck it. It's the Most High's will. I gotta go do it. You know, and that's how it works, man. No one has any say so in the matter.
And that whole story in Acts 9, that's all everything. But that just to prove the point, or Acts 9, that story about the conversion of Paul or Saul, who was known as Saul at that time, hey, it was all ordained by the Father Yahweh, you know. It wasn't Saul's plan to you know, convert to the truth. It was always Yahweh's plan. There's the verse in there, Akan, and the Acts 9. If you could close out on that, it's the one about Ananias, where the Lord tells him that he's a chosen vessel. Talking about Paul. You want to grab that?
Well, even that to your point, brother. That even him going out there and killing the believers, man. You think if he would have known that those were actual believers of the Messiah and you know, that was the truth at the time, you actually think he would have been out there killing them? More than likely he wouldn't. But it was the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai to put that spirit on him to go out there and go against the truth at that time before he was converted.
Khan, it was to the point where those the people, they were like, they didn't even trust Paul. They were like, hey, this dude, he persecutes the what they were calling Christians, you know, the Israelites, you know.
Paul
So-
got a step.
Go ahead,
Isaiah chapter 12, verse 2. See, power has come to save me. I would trust in him and not be afraid. The Lord power is my strength and my song. He has given me victory. He's
Khan,
going to give us. That time comes. We're going to have victory. He's my
Khan,
he's
Lord
our-
willing, right? Lord willing, like we've been saying through this whole lesson. So Lord's willing, you know, and Lord's willing, that lesson was edifying. And if you brothers don't have anything, I'm going to go ahead and close out. You guys got anything else?
That last verse you told the brother to grab.
Yeah.
Oh, Khan.
So
Go ahead,
this is,
Axel.
this is Acts chapter 9 and verse 12. No, 13.
Go ahead.
Matter of fact, yeah. Then Ananias answered, Lord, I have heard by many of this man how much evil he have done to thy saints at Jerusalem. And here he hath
Yeah, 'cause
authority
Paul-
from the chief priests.
Yeah, because Paul was doing what the brother was saying earlier. He was persecuting the Israelites, persecuting the believers. You know, he had a bad reputation. You know, go ahead.
And here he hath authority from the chief priests to bind all that call on thy name. All right. But the Lord said unto him, this is Yahushua speaking, go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me to bear my name before the Gentiles and kings and the children of Israel. For I will show him how great things he must suffer for my name's sake.
Come.
Yeah. So there it is, man. He was a chosen vessel. It didn't say that Paul chose to be a follower of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. It's the other way around. You know, it was the will and Yahweh ordained all of that. All right.
Oh man.
He ordained
Oh man.
everything.
Let me get that word for chosen.
Khan.
Strong's G 1589 Eklage. Eklage.
The act of picking out, choosing, or the act of the Most High's free will, by which before the foundation of the world, he decreed his blessings to certain persons.
There it
To decree
is.
the decree made from choice by which he determined to bless certain persons through Mashiach Yahushua by grace alone.
That's
A
right.
thing or person chosen of persons, the Most High's elect. So the Apostle Paul was a part of the elect even before he was fully converted. You see, because it was that way from the beginning, but he just had a story he had to play out according to what the Most High laid out for him in his will, man. That's it.
So Yahweh to take a man that was going against the church and then make him one of the great leaders of the church.
Yep.
Khan.
That's it, bro.
Yep.
Which,
All right. Yeah.
is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 15. You know what I'm saying? We could just preset that, you know, they could look it up themselves.
Khan. So yeah, that, you know, I think the point has definitely been made, you know, and at this point, if you watch this lesson, this video, and you still believe in that you have free will, well, guess what? We know according to these scriptures that the Lord has a missile prepared for your ass. All right. So with that, you know, I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah, Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us the truth. And I want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing this truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And, you know, shalom to the elect. And Abad Babal.
Come on. I'm Bob
Shalom.
Abad Babal.